This is Caecer Farrell, born and raised in Caribbean. In the United States, got involved in real estate for a number of years. Went to school also in the United States. And I graduated from NYU as an engineer, mechanical engineering. So I had a couple of those degrees, and I sort of ventured out into the real estate business because I thought it was an easy and viable thing for me to do. No boss says I'm in charge of everything. But however, that didn't turn out to be too good for me because of the competition. And when the economy sort of flopped from 2008 to 2009, I lost just about everything that I had. So I had to return those properties to the bank, which the IRS didn't think I did, which was I did. So they thought I had money left. So they decided to get rid of the stuff that I have. I go into my bank account and close my bank account. And garnishments from my job, garnishments from my bank, getting worse, getting worse, and getting worse, and getting worse. Because I couldn't pay them. I lost all the properties, I wasn't making any money. So it was just me, myself and I. At one point or other, I had to get money from my friends for me to survive. So I didn't know what to do. I found a friend of mine who introduced me to TaxRise.
So before Caecer came on board, he actually had hired another tax relief company to help him out with the same exact situation. And unfortunately, that tax relief company took advantage of him and did not provide him the results they promised. So when we tried signing him up, it was an uphill battle of trying to get this bad taste out of his mouth and really show him that we can do the services we're promising.
IRS is $1.7 million. The state was $8,000. And those guys from TaxRise were able to work with the IRS on the state to get an offering compromise, which they did.
So Mr. Farrell came in with liabilities over $1 million that were owed to the IRS. Whenever you have such a high liability, the IRS will do everything they can to collect on whatever they can. And if nothing was done for Mr. Farrell's liability, then he would be facing immediate levies, garnishments, and just constant headaches and collection activities from IRS and their taxing authorities.
The IRS trying to levy his Social Security, he did get some notices for that. And also California was getting aggressive in terms of him filing some tax returns that he hadn't filed that were really old years. But we were able to place collection holds and keep him safe from collection activity.
Actually, they were being very aggressive. They were issuing intent to levies against his Social Security. We did have to call several times to do collection holds to avoid, those garnishments, those levies, things like that. So
the state had to pay very little money. It was less than $500. And with the IRS, I didn't have to pay anything at all, not a dime. So from $1 million, I went to nothing. And there's nothing in the world better than that. Nothing.
So with Mr. Farrell's case and the tax liability he owed, we had to take somewhat of a unique approach. In many of these cases, taxpayers that are in these situations have legitimate reasons why they cannot pay back the liability in full. Sometimes it may come off that we're trying to game the system or not pay the liability not pay the IRS what it's owed. However, it's really just about trying to find a way whereby a taxpayer can settle his tax liability in fairness.
After the accepted offer, we completely wiped out his balance for the state of California, so everything was wiped out and he no longer owed anything to the state.
It was just amazing knowing how much he owed and what percentage he ended up owing after the resolution. It was an amazing experience.
To have an acceptance of a settlement amount under $1,000 was a huge victory, I'm sure, for Mr. Farrell and for our company as well.
The whole crew that I've spoken with them, they seem to be on top of the game. And they were always assured that they'll get it done. I didn't hear from you guys for maybe about a week or two. Then I got this letter from Daisy with information that the IRS had accepted the OIC. And then a few days later I got a letter from them, from the IRS, stating that they submitted and accepted my OIC, and this is how much you will have to pay, and this is how much you don't have to pay. And that was like a weight off my shoulder. I mean, I probably gained 20 pounds in one day. But yeah, it was very refreshing. You know, it was a good feeling. I spoke to a few of my friends and said, "Hey, guess what? I want my problem solved." I was able to somewhat get through that in flying colors, and here I am today, appreciating everything they did for me.